Hello, and welcome to Pitt Street Research. My name is Stuart Roberts, and I'm one of the co-founders of our firm. And joining me on the morning of Tuesday, the 4th of February 2025 from Perth is Mr. Nigel Broomham, who's the Managing Director of Battery Age Minerals, ASX BM8. Nigel, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, a lot of reasons for the shareholders of Battery Age Minerals to smile right now, not least of which is what we're going to spend most of this conversation about, which is El Aguila in Santa Cruz province of southern Argentina. Tell us how you laid your hands on such a glorious exploration project as El Aguila.
Firstly, thanks for pronouncing it correctly for me, Stuart, because that's one I struggle with myself. It translates, there we go. It translates directly to the eagle as well. So,
right.
And we believe we really got a great chance to find a big eagle here. So, project was initially introduced via a friend of mine after PDAC last year, and we began starting to talk with the group called Fredonia Mining Incorporated. It's in a fantastic region, amazing early exploration results, incredible scale, and proximal to some very large mines, and we think one that offers a lot of potential.
Right. When I heard Santa Cruz, I got particularly excited. Obviously, you've got Anglo Gold and Newmont both have some really serious mines down there. Cerro Negro in the case of Newmont, so it's elephant country. And then when I look at the kind of early indications that you're onto something there, rock chip samples were in excess of 170 grams per ton gold, visible gold just waiting to pick up off the ground. This is a pretty attractive system you're going after here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, this is a low-sulfidation epithermal system, exactly the same as our neighbours there with Anglo Gold, Pan American, said Newmont's in the area, incredibly high grade, and we know that these things can have real scale and they can be quite large. So, yeah, there's surface expressions there. These veins and these structures extend in kilometre scale, and host visible gold across that area. Extremely high grade, and we believe holds plenty of potential to hold scale.
Right. Now, we're a long way from civilization here. Santa Cruz is the next province up from Tierra del Fuego. So the nearest airport, I'm guessing, would be Comodoro Rivadavia, and then up to BA from there. So it's not the easiest place in South America to get to. How are we looking in terms of infrastructure and available talent to develop this project out?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump down to Antarctica, but it actually offers some very favourable conditions for exploration and for developing a mine. So, firstly, it's very, very dry, very arid, and very flat. So you're not quite up in the mountains yet. It's proximal to existing infrastructure. So there's highways and road access that go straight through and via the property, and you're right in between, multiple established mine sites. So there's already contractors available, service companies available, etc. So you're very, very well placed to progress something. It's a very mining-friendly jurisdiction. As mentioned, the area pumps out about 1 million ounces of gold a year and 15 million ounces of silver. So it's a very pro-mining area, and an area we're very happy to come into and progress.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Argentina has recently come in from the cold in terms of being investment grade with the election of Javier Milei as the new president. But you could always get stuff done from an exploration and development perspective in Argentina because a lot of the regulations were at provincial level. And in the pro-mining provinces of which Santa Cruz is one, it's all systems go if you're looking for a new mine.
Yeah, no, 100% correct. And Santa Cruz is one of those provinces which has always been pro-mining and pro-exploration. As long as you operate in the right way and do things in the right way, then there's no problems there. And you can see how well it's been supported there over the years.
Right. So we know from the sampling work we're on something special. What's the gravity and other electromag surveys telling you?
Yeah, they all obviously highlight some significant kilometre scale structures. So that's what we really want to tap into. There has been some limited drilling done there in the past by previous vendors, but mostly they've always been drawn into the very high grade main areas that they sort of initially stumbled across. But there's still another 9 targets that remain undrill tested. And on a whole, over the whole project, it remains underexplored below 100 metres, where we really believe we can find some real scale.
Okay. So What's the 2025 program of work for this new project?
Yeah, we want to get boots on the ground there and get straight into it. Sure. We'll go there, conduct field works, geochemical and geophysical surveys, especially on the 9 other targets that remain relatively untested. Get to work and quickly refine our drill targets and look to start drilling as quick as we can. So we want to make sure that we generate some really sort of strong drill targets before we do so, but we believe we can do this in quick time.
Okay. Meanwhile, the Bleiberg project in southern Austria just keeps getting better and better. You've got more ground. You've got all the data available to be able to go and plan a program there. It's still cold in Austria, but the temperature is about to get warm soon. And as soon as things thaw a bit, you'll be out there with drill rigs looking to prove up the value of that project.
Yep, exactly. As the market has seen recently, we expanded our tenure at Bleiberg to extend across now a huge corridor where we think there's a real high chance that we've got extensions of mineralisation across that tenure. Late last year, we also pegged 290 square kilometres of a project called Aguila, which has known and referenced mineralisation which extend over a 30-kilometre corridor. There's grades in there that have been dual referenced at over 845 grams a tonne for germanium. We think this is some of the best germanium potential tenure, potentially globally. It certainly is the largest land package, and there's plenty of work for us to get out and do.
Right in the middle of the EU, at a time when germanium's turning into a critical mineral in more ways than one, and you're the most identifiable resource of that commodity in the entire union, basically.
Yep. We think we have the best exposure to the strategic minerals of germanium on the ASX, hands down.
Right.
And although antimony and even gallium has been getting a bit more airtime, we believe that the market will soon recognise the value and the future value of germanium. There's a real need for this strategic metal outside of a China-controlled area. Although it's noted that China are responsible for 68% of the world's germanium. They actually account for 99.8% of any new metal units of germanium globally. So with them putting sanctions out there that they won't be producing any more germanium for the rest of the Western world, there needs to be another source of this material, and we want to be that source.
Right. Meanwhile, a legacy project of yours, Falcon Lake, over in Canada, is generating some interesting data. Tell us about that.
Yep. No, very happy to talk to that piece. We think the results we put out have been exceptional. The results that we released last week are some of the best drill results ever put out for lithium in Ontario. This had been a different time. A couple of years back, we would have seen some serious value created in our share price. We've got some fantastic results there. 55 metres at 1.76. This is world class. And for the amount of money which we spent in the ground and the results we've generated, the team's done an exceptional job. There's still plenty to test there. Still got about another 20 plus targets to test with the drill bit across a 5-kilometre corridor. So plenty upside, and we think this could be a significant resource when the time comes.
Right. And this is what one of the things I like about battery age. A lot of people have decided that lithium was very much a 2023 story and have kissed it goodbye forever. You're of the view, as am I, that lithium's a cyclical kind of metal. It's going to come back just like it came back in 2021, just like it came back before then, given the underlying demand for lithium in a whole range of applications, including EV. What's interesting about you, and we've talked about this in a previous interview, is ordinarily, if I'm finding lithium in Canada, it's way up in James Bay, in a place that's pretty inhospitable. You're down in a relatively more civilized part of Canada, not too far indeed from the US border, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I think when it comes to these potential deposits or these projects, your geography is key, and we couldn't be better positioned geographically. We're right adjacent to the Trans-Canadian Railway line, which runs straight past the project, straight through to Toronto and ultimately down to Detroit, Windsor. We've got access via all-weather roads to the project, which means exploration is relatively cheap. And when the time comes, we've got access to a deep water port at Thunder Bay. So, perfectly positioned there to capitalise on the upswing in the next lithium boom, which will happen. We think the project is well placed to capitalise on that when it happens.
Right. Now, your critics might say you're spreading yourself a bit. And I remind those critics, I'm talking to the guy who built out the Pilgangoora resource for an earlier beneficiary of an earlier lithium boom. So it's fair to say, Nigel, you know your rocks, and with small cap resources out of favour, now's the time to buy those straw hats in winter, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the question I've been fielding a fair bit with this latest acquisition. We don't think and we don't believe that being diversified is being distracted. We still believe that we'll be able to unlock the full potential of these assets through systematic exploration, which often these projects have lacked in the past. So for systematic exploration, unlock the full potential of the assets and progress them forward. And that's what we're going to do.
Right. Well, well done on picking up Aguila in Argentina. Nice work on Falcon Lake and Bleiberg. Seems like you're not going to get much sleep for the rest of 2025, Nigel. So make sure you have plenty of coffee before you start each working day.
Absolutely. It's no change. No change.
Good. Thanks for joining Pitt Street Research.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stuart.